Welcome! Today I'm going to unbox and try out the Revopoint 3D POP scanner. And we open up the box and there it is on top, or in this case on the bottom. I opened it upside down, but it worked out just right. There's the box that has the scanner in it. They give you a model to scan, a phone clip, as well as some extra points for flat surfaces and a trash bag for some reason, I assume to be a backdrop, as well as a turntable that already has some reference points on it, and they are painted so they won't come off. There are plug adapters for the power cord, and our little model appears to be made of plaster. Inside the camera box there is a manual and a quick start guide. For the most part, it's as simple as downloading the software and plugging it into your computer. Or phone, but I didn't try the phone because I know that it wouldn't work as well as being plugged into the computer, and I didn't plan on using it with my phone anyway. So there also has some tack putty with some cables and the mounts for the camera that you can connect to this really cool handle that you can either hold in your hand or you can open it up into a tripod and just sit on a table looking at the turntable. The camera itself is very compact. It has a couple of infrared sensors and the camera that allows you to do scans with color encoded into it or not. For my purposes, I'm going to do without color, but if you wanted to, you could scan colored models. Mine comes with two cables, one of which is the standard USB and the other is USB-C. I'm going to use the USB-C because that's what my phone and my laptop both could use. If you wanted to use it for a phone, there is another cable they have that has a split out that goes to your phone as well as something to power it. I'm not sure if you have to have that. I didn't experiment with the phone yet. The software was fairly easy to install. Supposedly there is a Handy Studio that comes with the Handy Scan. I have yet to see it. It supposedly is installed with the initial program and then just doesn't have a shortcut created to it, and you can find it in the program folder, but I could not find it anywhere in any reference. So either they got rid of it or they moved it or something. In any case, I don't know where it is, but that's the software you would use to take multiple model scans and combine them into one. I didn't know that when I first set it up. I assumed there was a way in the scan software that you could scan the one thing, pause it, flip it, and then continue scanning and it would automatically figure out where it was and combine the two, but that is not true, and that's what I did this time. Now you can also choose to scan with color or without color, as you can see in the settings there. Those other settings for choosing whether or not to do the face or dark model, things like that, all that does is change the settings on those two visuals on the left, which you could just change to auto if you wanted and let it figure it out on its own, which I ended up doing at the end. But I just set it up on the turntable, hit go, and it does a pretty good job. When you're setting it up, there at the top it tells you whether or not you're too far away or too close to your model. Just make sure that you have it in an excellent position for the best scan. The green shows what it is currently seeing and adding to the points. The blue are the points that are already added, and the frames are counted at the bottom left. I do at least 2 turns to get a lot of frames. I want to make sure it all gets filled in as best as it can, though it may not be entirely necessary. Once you complete, it will create your model. Once you have your model, you can then create a mesh, and you can choose whether or not to fill in the holes. If you do fill in the holes, it will make it so that it's 3D printable. I thought I could just flip it over and start scanning and it would figure it out like I said before, but that's not how it works. You would have to start a new file, scan that one, load those 2 separate models into the Handy Studio software that supposedly exists, and then combine them into one model. Or when you're scanning to begin with, just pick up the tripod and scan over the top as well and get all of the areas. It may be easier to just scan by hand than by turntable anyway, so that you have more of a control of how fast things are moving and to get a better tracking, but that just depends on how you prefer to use it. Your scans can be exported as STLs or OBJ files. If you're wanting to 3D print them, make sure that when you make your mesh that you fill the holes, otherwise you will have some super issues. You can then import your model into another software. In this case, I used 3D Builder that's built into Windows. Can you scan your little miniatures? Not really. I had a lot of trouble trying to scan anything that was smaller, but it works pretty good on things that are big, and I even tried my face, which worked pretty well. I did the color at first, but it actually froze and broke on me, so I had to try it again. And it's not that easy to do a scan of your own face while you're looking at it and trying to hold still, so I ended up doing it several times before I was able to get a good model. And it worked better without the color. Of course, even lighting also helps, as hair doesn't pick up as easily, especially with dark light. So make sure you have a good even light, and get your friend to scan you, because it's a lot easier to scan another person. But I did finally get what I thought was an acceptable model, and then once I had that model completed, it looks pretty good. There is a little piece of the curtain in the background, but that's something that I can edit out later anyway. All I need is something that is printable. I took the mesh and I made sure to fill in the holes so that it would fill in those missing parts of my beard and my hair, and then it went ahead and added an extra little round part in the back of my head, which is fine because then it makes a model that I can print. Or for fun, I could take this model and combine it with another model and make something cool. Like, I don't know, something for D&D. Like a me wizard. That's right. So I took this wizard model and took my head model, which is to scale, which is awesome. I have a giant head over the top of this tiny wizard, so I have to do some editing, scale it down, put it where I want on the model, and then I can basically make myself a wizard that I can print. And if you think that's cool, you know what's even cooler? You, supporters, watchers, all those that contribute to my madness. Thank you so much for your support. If you would also like to support this channel, make sure to check out the links in the description. The 3D scanned file is much larger and takes a while to save, but once I have it combined into one model, that looks like one handsome wizard, if I've ever seen a handsome wizard. Then I just have to add my supports and I can print him in resin. There are a lot of possibilities with the 3D scanner. It's a lot of fun. I don't know that it will work very well for smaller items. Perhaps the POP 2 works better for that. It has an accuracy of about 0.05 of a millimeter as opposed to 0.3 of a millimeter. So keep that in mind if you're trying to decide between this one or the second one. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, make sure to click that thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe for future videos. Thanks for watching.